Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC training. I'm your host, Leandro Armada, and in this video what we're gonna see is the recipe features that we have in the software. So let's go to the presentation. So these recipe features are for all the range of PLCs, M171 and 172, so all of those you can do it. Okay, so let's take a look here. Good. So when we go to the commissioning tab, we have the possibility to use recipes. If you didn't take it, we have the possibility to use recipes. It's a little bit different to recipes used, for example, in HMIs. It's different, but we have this option to use recipes. Okay, and we're gonna see how it works. So once you are in the commissioning, you can go to recipes. There is a tab for this where you can add, import, delete, export, send receipts, everything. And then here in the commissioning window, we have a folder called recipes. So here, what we need to do is to add a new recipe. So for that, we just need to right click on the object and then add a new recipe. We have the possibility after we add it to change the name, okay, delete it, and export recipe, or write all recipe values. That are going to cover later. Okay, so as you can see here, there is no direct option like a change name. Okay, as we have another options, we just need to wait for the second click, and then another click, just wait a little bit in order to change the name. So let's take a look on that one. So in the previous video, I have done the let's take a look. Let's see here. Let's create a new menu. Speeds or set points. And here I'm going to add the set points that I had created in the previous video when I explained the different menu configuration, 4 and 5. So let's focus on this, not pay attention too much on this. I have a menu with all the set points. Okay, so now in the commissioning, I'm going to create a recipe. Add recipe. Here we can change the name, blah, 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 blah. But in case we don't want this, we just need to double click. Okay, one click and then wait a little bit and then the other one. So it's going to be recipe 1 full speed. So here I'm going to drag and drop variables that I have into here. That's going to be my my new way of recipe, or my new recipe. So I can go here, drag and drop, and put the variables, and it will take the value that I have on the value. So for example, if I use this one, you can see I have value and I have the default. And if I add it again, you can see that the value is going to be the true, which is the value that I have on the software, not on the controller, because in this case, I don't know which one it is, probably it's true or 0, but it's going to take the value on that column, on the value. Okay, and here you can see the recipe value is taken from that and not for the default value. Okay, but I believe that is explained here. So this is how we can change the name, how to add it, and how to delete it. Then in order to access to the recipe, it's very clear. I just double click on it, okay, and then you should be able to see the receipts where we can have the address, the name of the variable, the value, and then the recipe value. This value is the one that we can use for read and write. Okay, when we use read and write, we should be able to see this, the actual value on the controller, or the value that we may have. And then this is the recipe value that is taken when you drag and drop the variables in here. So here you can drag and drop the variables from the status or EEPROM over here. Okay, so you can see it on the new recipe. Just drag and drop it. Then, if you don't want a parameter because you made a mistake drag and dropping it, you can go over here. You can see if I can make the right click, okay, I can make that delete. It will not work. What we need to do is to, once we select the variable, we just need to go to recipe, delete parameter from recipe, and then just delete it. Okay. Now, if we want to change the value that we have in the actual recipe, what we need to do is to select the variable, make the modification that we have, and then change the value recipe. So if we go to the recipe here, saying that I want the full speed, let's set 100%. Imagine this 100%. The value on the PLC here, let's see if I can show you, is 0. It doesn't change anything because this is just this part of the configuration, don't change anything. So here, when I select this, I want to move this value here to a new recipe. So recipe, set recipe values, and it will change this. Okay, and I don't change anything at all here in the code of the controller. So imagine that I want this to be 35. If I use the write, it will write this value that I have here, not the recipe, not yet. In order to write the recipe, we can select the recipe name that we have, recipes, and then write all recipe values. As you can see, it changed to 100. Okay, so okay, write all values. Okay, we can select and values, or go here to the folder, write all values with right click. So create status variables, okay, recipe folder, 3 configuration, 1, 2, 3 default, add variables, and check behavior. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's add variables, target, recipe, delete parameter from recipe. So the idea of putting everything here in an easy way is for you to drag and drop it down instead of it selecting by one. You have it all. So this is going to be full speed. I'm going to select all this, target, recipes, set recipe values. It's going to be like a full speed. And I'm going to get another one, recipe 2, medium. I'm going to drag and drop all of this one, the medium, and it's going to be 50. Okay, and then I'm going to set this over here, target, recipe, set recipe value 50, and then set point here, value, I'm going to add another one, recipe number 3, and that's it. Okay, just leave it in there. So config 1 and 2, change the parameters to config 2, config default, send the values to the PC, check behavior. So basically what I want to do is, okay, let's check the variables of the controller. So let's put all these together. So it's like having a parameter list here, write all values, and you can see all of them are 100, and this one 50. So it's an easy good way for example, to set up the machine. I have this behavior, and you can easily do it from here to have all the values already organized to send, to restart, and put in a one point that you want. So I believe this is a very good things to do. Send the values. I believe you get the idea. So we have the possibility to export, okay, and then import it. It creates this new this RCP file. Okay, now we can import and export. If we create these recipe values, okay, the recipe name, the problem is that the variables that we use, the EEPRON and the status, have like their own index. This part, okay, so if you try to change this, it will change the variable, but the problem is not easy way to define, okay, this is the variable I want, or is this one. There is no easy way. So probably if you want to make a modification on the recipe, I will not do it on the variable, on the variable symbol. I will do it on the value in case I need to make a modification. You can see here, you can change all these 1, 2, 3 that I have it here. You can change it. It's gonna be easy that way. Export, modify the name. So let's try to do that. Okay, so let's go over here. So let's change this one because it's 50. I didn't export file, RCP. Okay, need to copy this just in case because I don't know where is it. Save. Then let me just take a look on the file where it's located. Okay, it's located over here. Now if we edit notepad, here's the value, so you can change this to 75, 23, and 5, 1, 6. So you can see here you have this index. Don't touch it. Save, because you just need to make these modifications. So now I'm going to re-import it, probably change the name, this recipe LTA. Let's try to import recipe LTA, open. Yes, it will have the name of recipe because I didn't change it. Okay, and you can see here I have all that. So in order to change the name, the notepad, recipe here, recipe LTA, that was the name I need to change. I didn't change it. So now let's import it again. Import, open, and it will add the recipe. Now I can change the values. Take a look over here. Write all values, and you have the new ones. Okay. Export, modify the name, receipt, import the file, check the changes in the software. We are good to go. Okay, so this is how we can execute the recipe. Something didn't change. We are almost there. Don't worry. So I didn't check the behavior of this on the installer just to check if in the installer we have the recipes. I don't remember. So let's compile this. Okay, and then let me just go to the software. So this is going to be the installer. So let's try to open the installer and see if the recipes are in there or not. That's something that I don't remember. So they have something over there. So we can compile this. Build all. Doesn't have the recipes here. Okay, so let's see what happens if I import it. Open. You have the recipe. So probably in this particular case for the installer, yeah, for the installer, okay, only it's gonna be good if you can export the file for the recipes. Okay, so in the other part someone can use it then, which is good. I was expecting to probably have all of them, but no, you probably need to export it and then import it here so you can have access. It's going to be very good to have them. And then here you can write all the values, which is fine. So yeah, brilliant. So that would be the only add-on here that is not in the presentation. We just tested it. So this is it for how to use the recipes inside the software on the commissioning tab and also in the installer, as I just showed you. So remember that once you finish the recipe, change the values, export it, and if you want, you can export it and change the value and also change the name and then import it on the installer so you can have it over there. It's going to be much easier. So this is it for the recipes so far. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.